Welcome in. Welcome back. February 1st, we are celebrating the full moon in Leo. We are celebrating Imbolc. Later on in the month of February, we are going to be facing down the barrel of our first Mercury in retrograde for 2026. And on February the 20th, Neptune is going to be meeting Saturn at 0 degrees of Aries. Let's dive in because this is a lot to unpack for the month of February. How's everyone feeling? I would love to hear in the comments how your first month of 2026 played out. For me personally, very quickly, I will share I was convalescing after having taken a tumble on the ski hill on December the 24th and shattering my left shoulder. 4 fractures in the humerus bone in one fell swoop. I don't recommend it, just for those of you who are thinking that, I don't know. Let's face it, I'm not 25 anymore. Let's dive in. Tonight, February the 1st, full moon in Leo. What does this mean? For those of you under the sun signs of Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio, this full moon is going to affect you more profoundly. Those 4 signs that I just mentioned, it's going to affect you more profoundly than any of the other signs. For Aquarius and Leo in particular, the full moon is falling in the sign of Leo. Leo's opposite is Aquarius. This is an opportunity for all 12 zodiac signs to release, to let go of that which no longer serves them. But in particular for Leo and Aquarius, and then for Taurus and Scorpio, the releasing is going to be more profound, including the possibility of actually having physical symptoms of releasing. I've talked to several clients just in the last 2 days who have had profound physical releasing episodes. I won't go into the nitty-gritty details and you'll thank me for that. One of those clients was a Leo and the other one was an Aquarius. So just a heads up on that. I do suspect this is Sunday. I am getting the sense that by Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, the real pull of this full moon in Leo is going to begin to subside. But between now and Wednesday morning, you still have an opportunity to be able to set your intentions to release during this full moon. February the 1st is also Imbolc on the pagan calendar, on the Wiccan calendar, on the wheel of the year. It depends on your terminology. But February 1st marks the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. This is a time for us to celebrate the returning of the light in the Northern Hemisphere, to acknowledge, light some candles around your house, get going on that, to welcome the light back in and acknowledge how the days are beginning to get longer. It is at this point in the calendar, in and around February 1st, where our conscious minds really begin to notice that our days are longer than they were 5 weeks ago. Imbolc is also a time for us to reassess where we are at with the intentions that we set during the winter solstice. So oftentimes right around winter solstice, we have an opportunity because we're going into the longer, colder months. For many of us who have gardens outside and so on, I think gardening is probably one of the best ways to explain this. For many of us who have gardens outside, our gardens have been harvested, we've turned them over, and we've put them to rest for the winter. But we now have an opportunity to sit back and plan our garden for the upcoming year. We have an opportunity on the winter solstice to begin to make plans because there's not a lot else to do as the earth begins to sleep. February the 1st is our opportunity to take a look back over the last 5 weeks. Look at those seeds that we planted, those plans that we made, and reassess. Is that still the direction that I want to go as we begin to move further into and up to the spring equinox? So I encourage each of you to sit back, have a cup of tea or hot chocolate. I much prefer hot chocolate with marshmallows, and set some more intentions. Get really, really clear. Yes, remember what I said, Imbolc is about the returning of the light. So shed some light on those intentions that you have set at this juncture in time. What else is coming up for us? February 20th. Well, before we get to February 20th, let's go back to January 26th. On January 26th, Neptune left the sign of Pisces and entered the sign of Aries. Neptune under the sign of Pisces was about masks. It was about the unexpected because so many people were walking around wearing masks. And it was about living in a blurred reality where life sometimes felt like it had a double-edged sword. As Neptune moves into Aries, and Neptune will remain in Aries until the year 2039, not 2029, 2039. During this time, the masks are coming off. There will be more clarity. There will be more transparency. There has to be, as Neptune sits in the zodiac sign of Aries. As Neptune stays in Aries, there's an opportunity for us to take direct action on what's coming into us. There's less time for shadows now. There's less opportunity for us to be able to just put on a mask and say, it'll be okay. No, this is a time for clarity. And as if to reinforce this, on February the 20th, Neptune is going to meet Saturn in the sign of Aries. Some astrologers are calling this a cosmic reality check. Those are not my words. It is something that I have heard repeated by a number of different astrologers about February 20th. So be on the lookout for that. And if you have been wearing a mask, if you have been pretending to be something that you are not, be prepared in the month of February to have that mask pulled off. And finally, in the month of February, we are headed towards our first Mercury retrograde. This won't happen until February the 26th. But if you've got contract negotiations going on, if you've got a really difficult discussion coming up at work, or even in a relationship, in a romantic relationship, or with a friend, I highly recommend that you take the opportunity to have that discussion prior to February 26th. Unfortunately, when Mercury goes retrograde, communications have a tendency to get muddled and mixed up. This video went a little longer than I was intending for it to go. I was intending to pull a few cards, but I think that I'll make a fresh video. So keep an eye out for another video where I will pull some cards for the collective, and we will dive into what else February has coming in for humanity as a collective. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like and subscribe. It will help me to rebuild this channel after my long absence. If you missed my video about the reasons why I was absent, I will post a link in the description down below. If any of what is coming up under the full moon, under Imbolc, under Neptune changing into Aries or moving into Aries, if February 20th is bringing up any concerns for you, I would be happy to discuss these further with you in a counseling and tarot reading session, and I will leave my contact information down below. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful, beautiful day.